President Donald Trump's strategy of outright resistance to House subpoenas will face its first test in federal court on Tuesday, setting up a ruling that could boost Democrats' efforts to investigate the president's business dealings. U.S. District Court Judge Amit Mehta is set to rule on the Democrat-led House Oversight and Reform Committee's subpoena to accounting firm Mazars USA for 8 years of Trump's financial records. The committee's demand is part of its investigation into alleged financial crimes committed by Trump. Trump filed suit seeking to invalidate the subpoena 3 weeks ago, the first of 2 lawsuits aimed at hobbling House Democrats' investigations targeting his administration, presidential campaign and business empire. Mehta's ruling will represent a flashpoint in the myriad disputes between the White House and Congress, marking the first time the judiciary weighs in on Trump's blanket strategy of refusing to comply with congressional subpoenas and oversight requests from House Democrats. Trump and his Republican allies have argued that the subpoena was politically motivated and amounts to an abuse of Congress' authority to conduct oversight of the executive branch. Democrats have said Trump's court challenges are frivolous efforts to delay legitimate probes, part of what they say is a broad stonewalling effort by the Trump administration. Mehta is expected to deliver his decision after an 11 a.m. hearing at a Washington federal district courthouse. The judge decided to expedite the process, contending he already learned enough to rule without hearing in-person arguments by Trump lawyers or the House General Counsel. That move bodes poorly for Trump. It suggests the judge didn't want to drag out the case as Democrats seek to quickly gather evidence of Trump's alleged financial impropriety. On Monday, ahead of the hearing, Trump's attorneys telegraphed those concerns in a new court filing and asked Mehta to cancel the hearing altogether and set a trial date. While plaintiffs understand the court's desire to decide this case efficiently, resolving it in this way, and on this schedule, will severely prejudice plaintiffs, Trump attorney William S. Pinsavoy wrote. Douglas Letter, General Counsel for the House of Representatives, backed Mehta's plan to rule from the bench, saying in a court filing that Pinsavoy's complaint lacks merit and an expeditious resolution of the subpoena's validity is necessary for the committee's investigations to continue. Mehta later formally denied Pinsavoy's request, writing in a brief order Monday night, "The hearing will proceed tomorrow as scheduled." Oversight Chairman Elijah Cummings, DMD, issued the so-called friendly subpoena to Mazars, which asked for the subpoena so that it could comply with the request. He issued it just days after Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney and fixer, provided documents to the oversight panel purportedly showing that the president artificially inflated and deflated the value of his assets in order to benefit financially. Cohen in February disclosed several of Trump's financial statements which were submitted to Deutsche Bank in 2014 as Trump was seeking a loan to buy the Buffalo Bills NFL team. Cohen told lawmakers that the documents showed that Trump inflated the value of certain assets in order to secure the loan. The committee says it needs Trump's financial records from Mazars as part of its efforts to corroborate Cohen's allegations. Trump's lawyers argue the subpoena is defective because it relies so heavily on Cohen's testimony. Chairman Cummings requested this information because Michael Cohen, a felon who has pleaded guilty to lying to Congress, told the House Oversight Committee that the president had misrepresented his net worth while he was a private citizen, Trump's attorneys wrote, calling it one of the worst examples of the House Democrats' zeal to attack President Trump. Mehta's ruling could provide a blueprint for other judges deciding on Trump's attempts to thwart congressional investigations. Trump has also filed suit to block the House Intelligence and Financial Services Committees from subpoenaing Deutsche Bank and Capital One, where many of his business and personal financial records are housed. Trump's attorneys have argued that House Democrats' efforts to obtain Trump's records are political grenades masked as efforts to conduct legitimate investigations. Democrats just want to damage the president politically ahead of his re-election fight, they argue, and their subpoenas are illegitimate because there's no underlying effort to support possible legislation that could arise. Democrats are using their new control of congressional committees to investigate every every aspect of President Trump's personal finances, businesses, and even his family, Trump's lawyers wrote. Instead of working with the president to pass bipartisan legislation that would actually benefit Americans, House Democrats are singularly obsessed with finding something they can use to damage the president politically. If Maida, an appointee of President Barack Obama, rules in favor of House Democrats, it may be House Republicans' previous court battles that helped provide the roadmap. In 2017, House Intelligence Committee Republicans successfully sued Fusion GPS, a research firm hired by Democrats that commissioned the so-called Steele dossier alleging a vast Trump-Russia conspiracy to influence the 2016 election, for the firm's financial records. In that case, Judge Richard Leon, a George W. Bush appointee, indicated that Congress had broad authority to define the legitimate legislative purpose of its demands for information. This court will not, and indeed, may not, engage in a line-by-line review of the committee's requests, Leon wrote at the time.